Okay, everyone, welcome to DCAP's Industrial Design series here. I have an old good friend of mine that I've known since for over 5 years now, I believe, from Buffalo, New York. This is Bryan Somerville with Tresca Designs. Brian, thank you for being on the show.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. Thanks for having me. I appreciate your time.
So Brian is kind of become a bit of a veteran in Buffalo, New York within the product design space. He has worked for a product design group that he is now actually director of operations for Trusted Design. So he's been involved in multiple pieces of operations and projects and just connecting the Buffalo area. And Brian, you're still holding strong in Buffalo. How's that all been?
I am. I am. Buffalo born and raised, Mike. So I've been here my entire life. I haven't left. I really enjoy the city and I like the renaissance that it's kind of going through right now, which is really nice. I tell people, if my father and I would go to a Sabres game maybe 10, 15 years ago, you'd park your car, you'd kind of get out of the car, jog inside real quick, get inside, and then when you left the game, you left. You went straight to your car, you got in, you locked your doors, and you drove home. Whereas now, you can go to a Sabres game and you can get a drink before at the bars around there, and you can leave a Sabres game and you can hang out for a while downtown by the water or by some of the new bars or anything like that, which is really nice. So that renaissance is very large in part due to the tech that's coming to Buffalo. There's a lot of cool new technology, cool new companies, especially that are starting up around here, who are driving really, really good talent to the Buffalo area, and that's bringing more money in here. It's bringing more people. It's bringing more enthusiasm to the region. At one point in the turn of the 19th century, Buffalo was one of the wealthiest cities in the world, and I think there are a lot of people here who want to see that happen again. So we're doing our best here in Buffalo, and yeah, it's a little wintry and crappy for 6 months out of the year, but I like the snow, so it works out.
Yeah, that works out great. Yeah, Buffalo really has become, a big strength of the upstate New York manufacturing community, from what I understand. And then when I was living there for my short amount of time, that, like it's a very well networked group in Buffalo. It's a very quickly growing city. And, like ever since I was there, everyone did speak about the renaissance of Buffalo. And it's really neat that you point that out because, like everyone from Buffalo wants to see Buffalo grow, prosper, and like thrive, especially for new tech that's coming in, which is everything. So so you've been actually in this space for about 3 years now, and like you really got to, you're a young individual that's been able to grow within this space pretty quickly and probably got the network pretty well. How has that kind of impacted you being in this industry?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I've been with the company for about almost coming up on 4 years now. So I started towards the end of my senior year of college. So yeah, it's been great to see the company grow and then to see the community around us grow as well. And that's huge for Buffalo, right? Buffalo is a city with a small town feel. So networking is huge. You have to network, you have to, touch elbows with the right people, and you have to go out and put yourself out there, whether it's from, an outbound sales standpoint or just going to shows or going to meet other people, going out to dinner, doing random things with people in the Buffalo community, because that's what Buffalo is all about. You have to network in order to kind of get in with the right people and make any sort of advancements. So networking is very, very important. I enjoy networking. I like talking to people. I love doing stuff like this. So yeah, thanks for the invite. Things like this are good, and this is what Buffalo needs. So Buffalo is all about helping other people. So, you network with 10 individuals, those 10 individuals want you to network with 10 more. And then those 10 individuals that you network with interview with 10 more, right? And they go and network and network and network. So you just grow a sort of web of sorts, and you just extend your influence and talk to more people and help out all the people around you. That's what Buffalo is all about.
Awesome, sweet. Yeah, Buffalo is that large growing community. Awesome. Well, so right now, with Tresca Designs, like I understand that they're How long have they been in the community alone?
So we celebrated 6 years in July, so we're coming up on 6.5 years now as a company.
So you're one of the originals with this design group, you would say right
Yep,
now.
fairly low level. Yep, absolutely. Ground.
Wow, wow. What industries do you spend most of your time developing equipment in?
So we work really well with just about any industry, but we spend most of our time in the medical and automotive industries for sure. A little bit in manufacturing as well, and then a smaller part of our company is consumer product design. But it's definitely the most interesting part of our day-to-day workflow is the consumer products. But really, like I said, we work with anybody. So if it's a small town inventor, we'll work with you, all the way up to Fortune 100 companies. We'll assimilate with an R&D team that company might have and then do a ton of their work alongside them. So we don't really turn many people away. There aren't many projects that don't fit our expertise. So we'll work with most people. We enjoy different things. I'm 26 years old and I get to play with Legos every day, pretty much just redesigning and designing new things. So it's enjoyable for sure.
Wow, yeah, that's exciting. So yeah, medical products and consumer-based product design really is that entrepreneurial feat to be able to stay afloat and keep that network community local, which is awesome. What would you say in the early days when you were working was kind of the main industries that your group was focused in? A bit more
Probably
foundational. Yeah.
Sure, sure. So probably the two that I mentioned who are our largest industries now were kind of what catalyzed us into who we are today. So the medical industry with a couple large companies, and then the automotive industry with mainly one large company that we do quite a bit of work with and for. Those two really catalyzed us into the company that we are today. So we kind of stayed pretty true to our roots there. But then on the same side is that consumer product design. That's a work that we all really like to do, and this company was built on small projects, 20, 30, 40 hour projects to help a small town inventor bring a product to a prototype phase or a design for manufacture phase, or even, a product ready, a market ready product that is good to be produced and manufactured and start selling them. So that's really kind of what this company was built on, as well as, those larger companies who give us, our bulk of work, but then those small projects that we love working on and that keep the lights on too. So yeah, that's what I would say is those three main industries have helped us.
Those are the bread and butter of any, like sizable group that's getting rooted into the ground, and that's awesome to hear. What would you say
I
is kind of
appreciate
like
it.
a motto over at Tresca Design? I've always enjoyed seeing your quotes you post on your page, and it seems like the group is kind of motivated and they're a little bit like hungry to, like help these customers in place, and like it's very Buffalo minded, where it's very family and everyone's kind of very supportive. What would you say is kind of
Yeah.
like some motto over there?
We have a ton, as you know, and like I try to post quotes once a week on LinkedIn. So we don't really necessarily have a specific motto. Our company tagline is outsource engineering made easy. And that's what we try to do for people. We try to allow somebody to come to us, outsource their engineering directly to us, and then we make the rest of the process pretty easy. But that's kind of where we're at. I can give you a sneak peek for this week's quote, but I actually heard it in a PhD defense last week. A friend of mine was going for their PhD, Liam Christie, and he did receive it. So Dr. Christie, I should say. But he left us with a quote, and it says, Moadib learned rapidly because his first training was in how to learn. So that'll be this week's quote, a little sneak peek for the viewers. But that's kind of the emphasis for the end of the year here at Tresca is in order to grow, we need to learn how to grow. And I think being a lifelong learner is very important. And that's what a lot of people will lose sight of regularly. As you think you've hit the pinnacle of your career or you've hit the precipice of where you're at, you can't learn anymore. That's just not true. There's always stuff that you can be learning. So we think that it is the most important thing that we have is our age and our ignorance, right? Per se, ignorance. A lot of people will look at Tresca and seeing as most of us are young engineers, they'll look at us and be like, oh, well, we don't want to work with these guys. They have no experience, right? They don't know what they're doing. They can't make the right decisions. I think it's the exact opposite. I think our ignorance is our biggest asset, right? Because there are problems that haven't been solved for hundreds of years, and old engineers couldn't get that done, right? So maybe it's young engineers' turn to step in and say, hey, let's think about this problem from a different perspective and get it done. So that's learning is very important. That's kind of our motto. We use our age to our advantage.
I love that relation in terms of, like young engineers being able to see problems differently. And
Absolutely.
it's a different level of arrogance where, like the engineers who've been in the area for 40 years, like they know the community and like there's certain products, but us young engineers, like it's taking on a challenge a different way and kind of like being a little bit more tough skinned about, okay, how far can we go for our client or customer?
Hmm.
That's that's really neat. I haven't heard product designers even have to, figure that issue yet, and that's a huge one. You are a young group over there, which is kind of like exciting within the engineering community. What's that
It is.
kind of feel like? Is that like kind of like a spark? It's like new, it's fresh, it's like on the edge of like in the community.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, everybody here wants to grow. It's a big thing for most of us here at Tresca is we all see the potential in the company, but we also see the potential in the greater aspect of what the company represents, and that's like this Buffalo community that is growing. Growth is important to all of us, and we want to continue to grow. And we are a startup, right? We've been around for 6 years, so we're a pretty established company at this point, but we treat ourselves like a startup. We're small. We ride scooters around the office and we do stuff like that because it's a cool vibe and we like to keep things loose, keep things open. We have a fairly open concept office where everybody can collaborate and talk to each other all day long. We listen to music, we listen to podcasts, we do everything together because we feel that collaboration is our best weapon, and to try to get things done and get problems solved.
That's pretty neat. That sounds like a tight knit group there. That's
Yeah, it absolutely is.
how many people right now?
We have 5 engineers, and then two kind of like overhead employees. So small team, and we've been small forever, and it's tough to grow, especially in the market that we're in. Always trying to expand, but right now it's just been tough. So I say small team, but I think we're small in a good way. We're specialized. We're getting the work done that we need to. We're getting it done on time. So we might be small, but mighty in a way, I guess.
Mighty. I enjoy it.
Sometimes, yes, sir.
Right. So, is there any with in mind where you've been, where your group is now going? Is there any industries that you feel like you want to tap into, or like something on the horizon that like you're kind of getting excited about? That like it's not huge yet, but you're like maybe this aspect of medical products, or like this
Mhm.
aspect of like consumer based products in automotive space for like tooling.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of markets that we're always trying to bust into. Medical, I think, is a huge market for us, and I think the growth potential there is very, very large. From a design standpoint, I think medicine is one of the fastest growing, industries in the world, and it has to be because medicine is constantly evolving and changing. There are always new diseases, right? We just went through a 3-year long pandemic, and medicine had to grow really, really fast to kind of keep up with that. So medicine is huge for us. And then we're trying to get into the government space in the next year or so, really try to dive in, start to help, the government in just cool engineering projects that they're working on, right? Like those are the top tier projects we would love to be a part of. And that's really kind of the industry we're to try to break in here in the next couple months.
Those are tough. Those are, applying for, like long-winded grants and SBIRs and like, like documentation. Those could take time. Or
Yeah,
it,
absolutely.
it sounds like you're ready for it though.
A little bit, a little bit. We've kind of started the ball rolling a little bit on trying to. We put our names out there on some quotes for some government projects, so we have the necessary credentials to get it done. Just haven't had the opportunity to pounce on one yet. So hopefully soon.
That's exciting.
Very, very
Uh,
yes.
big stuff on the horizon. Okay.
Hopefully.
Okay. Well, now that we're in Q4 going into the holiday, does your team, is it a festive time of year? As you
Oh
can see,
yeah,
I'm being very festive today.
absolutely. Yeah, we try to be. Our whole
Of
office
course.
is decorated. We got a couple Christmas trees and wreaths and lights everywhere. So I love the holidays. I listen to Christmas music. I'm one of the people who listens to Christmas music from October to January. So I do that. We listen to a lot of music here. We're taking the whole week off between Christmas and January or and New Year's, which is very nice. It'll be a good reprieve for everybody. We've been pretty packed at the end of the year here, so we're excited to kind of just get a little R&R and take that week off. But yeah, we're very ecstatic for the holidays. Everybody's going to be home spending time with their families if they can. So very excited.
Neat. Okay. So, really, that we close this off here. I am thankful that you got on and got to speak about Tresca because I know it's been strongly a growing group in Buffalo, New York for a couple years now. And it sounds like a product design group within, well, lots of mechanical engineer backgrounds, even some industrial design, but strongly, like the core principles of product design, moving into that UX kind of medical device design, and then really just like what the whole entire industry needs, where there is a lot of automotive in Buffalo, is a lot just general practice engineering, and like it sounds like your team is tight and they're core directly towards values that are just straight up Buffalo, which is kind of pretty fun.
Yeah, that's us.
Is there any words you want to say to send us off? If if you want to say the quote again, you can. It's up to you. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. Let me pull it back up here. It's on my phone. But yeah, so it says Moadib learned rapidly because his first training was in how to learn. So yeah, I'll leave you guys with that. It's be a lifelong learner, always be willing to learn new things and try new things, and you will never hit a precipice in your career because there will always be another place to go, up, sideways, down, wherever you want, as long as you're constantly moving. It's awesome. But yeah, be nice to people. Enjoy the holiday season. That's it. Be kind.
right on, right on. Brian, thank you for being on. Much appreciated. And I'll let you get back to your day and enjoy the holidays. We'll roll into the new year.
I appreciate it, Mike. Yeah, thanks so much for your time. Hopefully see you sometime in the next couple weeks, couple months if you're ever back up in Buffalo.
That's the plan. I gotta travel back out there.
Yeah, you do. Get out here, or we got to come out west.
Either or. All
All
right.
right, Mike. I
Thank
appreciate you. Happy holidays.
you.